Trust Fund. Nuhu Bayorbo Mahama is my guest tonight on Point Blank. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Point Blank on Eyewitness News.
Good evening, Salon.
It's a pleasure to have you. I mean, the students' loan when we were in school was a major source of relief for many students. In our time, you had to produce SNIT contributors. I mean, persons who have contributed for about 5 years or a certain number of months before you could qualify for that. Fast forward, I understand that has changed. What is the current situation? How does one get to benefit from the Student Loan Trust Fund?
Yeah, thank you very much, Salon, and good evening to your cherished listeners and viewers. The Student Loan Trust Fund, as you rightly mentioned, was established in 2005 by Act 820. And at the time, before you could have access to the fund, you needed 3 guarantors. So over the period, they saw that it was becoming a problem getting people. And if we talk about guarantors, we are talking about people who have contributed to Senate for at least 36 months. So they are the people that qualify to sign your form. So if you look at it in that perspective, it's as if the fund was somehow discriminatory. Because I'm looking at myself, who comes from a village, that my father had never worked in the formal sector. He never contributed to Senate before. So if you are looking for somebody to sign my form for me, I will not find some.
Yeah.
And in fact, I remember when I was in school, I tried having access to the fund. I couldn't get somebody to guarantee for me. So the fund from 2005, a number of things have changed, right up to 2020. Fast forward 2020, we're looking at removing this barrier to allow every Ghanaian student who is attending an accredited institution in Ghana, offering an accredited course, to be able to have access to these resources or to be able to have access to this loan. So we came with a policy that is known as the no guarantor policy. And the no guarantor policy, as a result of digitalization, every individual in this country now have a Ghana card. And the Ghana card gives you a unique identity. So no matter where you go to, you can go to heaven and come back, you still have that unique identity because it works with your biometrics. So we say if you have that unique identity, then you don't need to go and look for anybody at all to come and guarantee a loan for you. So just have your Ghana card, go to our website, apply for the loan with your admission letter, and you are qualified. So
that's simple.
Yes, it's that simple.
So is the processing that simple as well? Because one thing applying and is another thing benefiting. So is the processing and the eventual getting to benefits that smooth?
Yes. So from your end, as soon as we finish the application, then the box now comes to us. We have to now go through verification processes to be sure that everything that you have provided is true, or what you say you are indeed that person. So, for instance, if you bring me an admission letter from University of Ghana with your name, Salom Adenu, or I hope I've gotten the name right.
Yes.
Then on your Ghana card, you have a different name on it. Then in the admission letter from Legon, there's a different name, as well as your e-switch card. It means you may be a different person.
Yeah,
that's when you fill these forms, we have to go through the process to make sure the same person that is on the Ghana card is the same person that is in the school admission list, and is the same person that has submitted the e-switch card, because the payment is done through e-switch. So if we have any discrepancies within these 3, it means that you'll be flagged out. You will not be able to have access to the loan. So, as I said, it is very easy for anybody at all to have access to it as we speak. It is not discriminatory. Any Ghanaian at all can have access, provided you are attending an accredited institution offering an accredited course. And, let me just add that
whether it's a private institution or not doesn't matter.
Yes. So it's both private and public institutions in Ghana. So what I try to tell people is that anytime you want to go to any school, try as much as possible. You can always go to the GTEC website. You find out whether the school is accredited. That's number one. find out whether the course I want to read is also accredited. So if you are satisfied with these two, then you can go ahead and do the application. It doesn't matter whether you are in a private institution or you are in a public institution. Every Ghanaian child that is offering a first degree course is qualified to apply.
I see. Talking about first degree course, recently the Graduate Students Association also said that you should extend the loan facility to graduate students as well, because some graduate students also struggle to pay their fees. And indeed, recently, I think it was KNUST also that was trying to prevent people who hadn't paid from writing the exam. Some graduate students were affected. So when you limit it to just undergrads, that is good, but it doesn't complete the cycle.
Salam, what you've said is very true. And it doesn't take a day to build Rome, right? It's step by step. We've started with first degree, and I know in due course we shall be involving, or we shall extend it to cover second degree and others. But for now, it's just the graduate students or the undergrads that we are covering. Yes.
So then no guarantor policy is working.
Yes.
And so and repayment really depends on getting a job after school. So if I finish school...
No, let me correct that. Okay. Repayment doesn't depend on getting a job after
doesn't.
School. It doesn't.
Whoa.
So this is how it works. You are in school for 4 years. Every degree in Ghana is 4 years. So you are given the loan for the 4-year period. After the 4 years, you have 1 year for your national service. Then after the national service, there is a 1-year moratorium that you can use to look for a job. Now, after that 1 year, then the payment starts.
Interest starts accruing.
Yes, interest starts accruing. So when you finish your education, and maybe you have some windfall somewhere, and you decide to pay, you can pay it off without the interest. But when you wait for those 2 years, mind you, it means that you have already spent 6 years. That's 4 years plus the 2 years that you've been home. Now it's 6 years. Then you begin paying. And when you start paying, you have up to 10 years to be able to complete your payments. Yes. So it is not the case that when I finish school, I need to get a job before I start paying. When you come in, you see the terms and conditions doesn't include that you must get a job before you start paying. It is that when you finish 2 years after school, you start payments.
That's interesting. So there's no guarantor. I finish school. I really want to pay, but I don't have the means to pay. What can happen to me? What can the fund do to me? Because I don't work and I don't have the money truly. To pay.
Okay, Salam, thank you very much. If you don't have the means to pay, our doors are always open. So you go to any of our campus offices. You can go to any of our regional offices and let them have a discussion with us. Let's see the situation you are in. We can work out or we can structure something for you. But if you don't show up at all, it means you are running away from payments. So we always advise people that, look, at any point in time, if you are not able to pay, or if there's any reason that is hampering your payments, just come to us. Let us know. You can always reach us, even online. You can reach us. Let us know what exactly the situation is. Then we can all sit down and work out something that will benefit all of us. But if you don't show up at all, if you don't come at all, what it means is that you are not willing to pay. And after you exhaust your repayment period, we will come after you. And if you check, even this year, we have actually published even some names of defaulters. These are people that have gone through the full cycle of the repayment period, but they have not made any attempt of payment. So when that happens, we publish. In fact, the law gives us the steps to take. We first send you letters, then go ahead to do the publications, then prosecution finally, then we take steps to recover the money.
This is Point Blank on Eyewitness News. My guest this evening is Nuhu Bayorbo Mahama, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Students Loan Trust Fund, and we are having a conversation around the students loan regime, and indeed the no guarantors policy we've talked about. We've also talked about general qualification requirements and all of that, and the fact that what happens to you if you fail to pay, and we've been told that you have 10 years in order to 10 years in all to make your repayment. But Mr. Mahama, what is the going rate now? How much do you give to the students per year?
You mean the amount or the interest?
The amount.
Okay, so it is not a fixed amount, but it ranges from 2,500 to 3,000.
Okay.
So this is what happens when you come in to fill the forms, or when you are filling the forms. There's a questionnaire that you have to fill. In the process of filling it, we have a software that we call the means testing software. Academics will tell you it's prosy means testing. Now, when you finish filling out this form, the system itself will allocate a score or a weight to the answers that you have given. So based on the weight that is allocated, the amount is also allocated to you.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't matter what course you are doing. For now, it doesn't matter what course you are doing. Your answers you provide will determine the amount of money that is allocated to you. But that is also not something that is influenced by me or any of my officers.
It's system generated based on the answers.
It's system generated based on the answers that you provide.
So the Student Loan Trust is really to assist tertiary education students to get by. But the cost of tertiary education per year, I think Africa Education Watch or somebody did some work and said it would be around 15,000 per year, including accommodation, feeding, etc. If I come from the village somewhere, I don't have anybody to assist me. I just passed and got into the university, and my mind is to depend on the Student Loan Trust. 3,000 a year will not help me. Will not help at all.
That is very true. And Student Loan Trust, what we say, we are there to support you through the education. We are not saying we are there to take up the entire cost. In fact, if you look at any of the public or even private institutions in Ghana, let me use the public institutions for instance. You have the academic user fee alone is around 2,500, 2,300, 400, yes. So if you go by that, it means that student loan probably will be able to just assist you halfway, right? So what over the period, what we have tried to do is to start engaging stakeholders. And I know I'm not going to take the wind out of the sail for Dr. Bawumia, but increasing the amount involved in the student loan is one of the things that he's going to be talking about pretty soon. And I know that the figure that is going to come is going to be something substantial. You know, we must admit that tertiary education in this country or the world over is quite expensive. And no government can take it all by himself, right? So it's something that is supposed to be, we all have to collaborate to support ourselves to be able to do it. So I know in the next, not too distant future, some increment is going to happen when it comes to the amount involved.
So how do you get money? What are your sources of funding? Is it from the budget?
Yes,
how do you get money?
So the act that establishes the Student Loan Trust Fund gave us, I categorize them into traditional and then the non-traditional sources. The traditional sources, we have Get Fund. Get Fund is supposed to give us some percentage of their allocations every year. Then 1% of the communication service tax that is accrued over the period, every quarter is also supposed to be sent to student loan. So if you put these two together, that is what we use to run. Aside this, we also have our repayments. Everything that we collect or that we gather, mobilize from repayments, that is what we use to give out these loans. And for instance, last year, we gave loans in excess of 70 million Ghana cedis.
70 million
cedis, yes, to students. And out of this 70 million, repayments alone brought in about 60 million. So repayment alone brought in about 60 million. We all know the current challenges we have with Get Fund and other statutory funds, right? So this repayment, that is why we keep saying that the little that you pay or the little that you contribute will go a long way to provide comfort, to provide education for your brother, for your son, for your junior brother, or for your sister, right? So we encourage people to come on board to make these payments.
So
those that are due.
So what you receive from Get Fund is between the minimum of 2%.
Well, the law, yes, the law says Get Fund should give us between 1 to 10%.
Between 1 and 10.
So it's very open.
And Get Fund often does the least by giving you 1 or 2%.
So if you are given a bowl of soup and then you are told to give Wilson any amount, give him between 1 or 2.
Maybe I'm generous.
So you
Maybe
give him
generous,
1.
so I'll give him more.
You don't give him 2. They give him between 1 and 2.
So that's the current situation.
Yes, that's the current
civil
situation.
society and other bodies are calling for a review of the law, which will tighten that provision a bit, so that they can say make it 5% or make it 10%. So you can accommodate the growing needs of students and the education system generally. Is that a call you push as well?
Yes, we've done some analysis and even looking at some figures, and I know that in the next academic year, probably there will be a law, a bill before Parliament that will compulsorily state a figure that, look, Get Fund, well, I'm pushing for 10% of Get Fund allocations. Okay. So I don't know what is going to happen, but my target is to have 10% of Get Fund allocations sent to us. So whatever we are going to get, but this time around is going to be very specific that every time you are getting your allocations, 10% or 5% should be sent to Student Loan Trust Fund.
I'm just looking at the sources of funding under your act, and we have voluntary contributions.
Yes.
We also have donations, gifts, bequests, etc. Do we have money coming into your fund from voluntary contributions and donations, etc. from people? Does it happen?
For now, no. So that is why sometimes I laugh when I hear people say that they are going to reach out to civil society, they are going to reach out to institutions to come on board to help. Personally, I feel the name student loan also play a role when it comes to these donations, because there are people that probably want to bequeath some assets when they are gone, but they are looking at it and they say, oh, what if I give to this institution and they decide to use it as a loan? In fact, my aim is to help society, so why should they give it to somebody as a loan?
So you think your name student loan is not helping you?
That is what I'm saying. That is my personal view. I feel that the loan.
So how do you think it should be called?
Probably we should be looking at student financing authority or student financing something. But when you are talking about a loan, there are some people, voluntary people, NGOs who may want to come on board. But
those people should go to the scholarship secretariat.
Well,
so that side, yes, it's scholarship, maybe it's free. But if you come to student loan, of course, it's loan, and it's a business, more or less.
So yes, you get it. So that is why we. When you do, when you have a law and you are practicing it over a period, you can review, you can look at it and see, okay, this is not helping me. Why don't I go? Why don't I go this way? Why don't I go that way? So that is what we are looking at right now. So if you talk about voluntary contributions or donations, as at now, from 2005 up to date, we have not received any voluntary contributions from anybody. But we've made a lot of efforts. We even have a department that is in charge in the resource mobilization. We've written a couple of letters to so many institutions asking them to come on board, but mostly we don't get any positive feedback. So you see,
so how is the repayment done? When I'm paid, I took a loan, I get a job. I start getting salary. I take the money to your office or the bank and pay into it, or my employer has to pay. What's the process like?
Currently, you don't need to go to any of our offices, or you don't even need to go to the bank to make payments. You can go to the Ghana.gov payment portal, and then you'll be able to pay student loan. We also have payments that you can do on your mobile phone. We have our short code, that is the star 737 star. And
star 737 star.
Yeah, let me just get this thing right.
We're speaking
whilst I speak,
we're speaking to Nuhu Bayorbo Mahama, who is the chief executive of the Student Loan Trust Fund. He's trying to help us appreciate how you can make repayments once you are done with school and then you've gotten a job and all of that. So he's just helping us with a short code through which you can make your repayments.
Yeah, so it's star 737 star
737
star
206
hash
206 hash.
Yeah.
So once you punch this on your
phone,
you
punch this, you should be able to make your payments online. So you don't need to go to any bank or any. But if you also still have challenges, our offices are always open, as I keep saying. Every campus we have a campus office. You can walk into the office at Asalam Down. You can also go at every region too. We have an office there. So it has been very simple now to make, very easy for you to be able to make your payments.
So how is it? I mean, why have you designated August as the repayment month? What's the reason behind that?
Yes, August seems to be the middle of the year. Oh yes, so it falls within that category, and we feel that at any point in time, when the year begins and you are making your plans that this is what I want to do, by August you will know whether you are going to achieve the goals that you have set for yourself or not. So when it gets to that time, then we try to remind people that look, at the beginning of the year you set a goal to pay your student loan. Now it's the month of August. You haven't made any commitments. Why don't you come on board? Start doing something right now. It can even be 10 cedis, it can be 20 cedis. Look, start doing something now, so that by the close of the year, you might have contributed something substantial. So the month of August is very, very important because it helps us remind people of the goals that they set at the beginning of the year. Yes.
I see. So we were speaking to Nuhu Bayorbo Mahama, CEO of the Student Loan Trust. So since you took over the Student Loan Trust, what contribution have you made in terms of introduction of policies or introduction of innovations that you say are making the scheme better than it was when you took over?
Yes. I came in February this year, and since I came, the USD code, I generated a USD code that has made payment very simple.
Okay, so this star 737 star 206 hash.
Yes,
it's your creation.
Yes.
Wow.
And aside this, I'm also working with Pay Angel, which is also another payment portal. And we've actually concluded payment processes. So those, our brothers and sisters who are outside this country now can make payments whilst they are, whether you are in UK or US, now you can make payments. So Pay Angel is there. So the USD code is also one of the things that we have done. Then when it comes to the operational issues, I mean, probably those are things probably I don't want to put out there. But we are trying to revamp a lot of things that were not so right in there. So I think from February up to now, we've put in a lot of effort. And our PR unit now is on its feet, running everywhere to make sure. I know a year ago, if someone had come in here to talk about student loan, you tell them you've not heard of them for a very long time. But we've been knocking your doors since yesterday, trying to come in here. So it's because we want everybody to get to know that we exist, and this is what we are in to do.
I see. Thank you so much. In your final words,
I would like to say that this year is an election year, and decisions that we make as individuals, as society, have implications. There was a time that allowances for teacher training and nurses were cancelled, and there came a time these allowances were restored. Aside just the restoration of these allowances, the student loan has been made stronger. And there is a promise that the amount that is going to be given is going to be increased. So as we prepare ourselves to make this decision, let us make decisions that will help or that will go a long way to give education to our brothers who are lacking behind, to give education to our people who don't have the resources to go to school. So this evening, Salam, I want to use this your platform to call on all Ghanaians to listen to what Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia is going to talk or tell us about the plans he has for the student loan, the plans he has for the education of this youth, for the youth of this country. Because at the end of the day, a nation that is not educated is not a nation that is worth dying for. So I want to call on all of us that the decisions that we are going to make, they should be decisions that will impact the future of our children, the future of our grandchildren, the future of all Ghanaians.
Very well.
Thank you very much.
Trust Fund, Nuhu Bayorbo Mahama.